You want to know how? Starting out real good.
I don't want to know how. Have?
Jeez.
Take two.
Lurch.
Yo.
Do you want to know how to have a fresh smelling and squeaky clean butt before riding your motorcycle?
Well, yeah, who wouldn't?
Well, I'll tell you how. Get hooked up with Dude Wipes flushable wet wipes. Oh yeah, your butt will smell like a breath of fresh air. Just like a fresh breath mint.
Stupid.
Oh yeah, that's right. Support us and head over to lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. That's B-U-T-T, fresh-butt. No additional cost to you, but we do get a small commission if you click through and make a purchase. So we're going to give a quick review as we get started here on the Dude Wipes. Now, we're not affiliated with the company. It's just an affiliate link, lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. And we just came across these. Now, I've used a lot of flushable wipes in the past, mostly like Cottonelle.
I think that's one of the most popular ones. I think I have a few under my sink at the house.
I do. Well, we came across these, and some of you may have heard of them. And I'm just going to tell you, again, we're not affiliated with this company at all, but I'm going to tell you that there is a difference between wet wipes for your arse. There
Especially,
is a difference.
A dude's butt. Yeah.
So me and Lurch have been doing our due diligence, as we do here at Law Abiding Biker Media, and we've been reviewing.
Yes, we've been testing and reviewing.
And there's a lot of testing going on because there's a lot of shatting going on in the Law Abiding Biker bathrooms in the mornings because me and Lurch have been working every day together pretty much.
Well, you eat breakfast, you coffee up, the caffeine starts to work, and what do you got to do? You got to poop. Everybody poops.
Not all wipes are equal. And so we really come to enjoy the Dude Wipes now.
They're larger, first of all.
Yeah.
Which is nice. The Cottonelles just give you a kind of small little deal. I think that's something like 35% larger on these Dude Wipes. So you got some surface area to work with.
Your finger doesn't slip around the side.
Right. You're not going to get surprise poo.
First piece of ass I ever got, my finger slipped through the toilet paper. Just saying, bro.
Well, you're making me cough.
But I'm not going to lie to you. I just got done using the Dude Wipes, just so y'all know it's a great picture. Yeah, good visual.
You stunk up the shop.
Well, we are testing the mint right now. It literally
mint scented, not mint flavored.
No, not mint flavored.
Don't eat these things.
Yeah, mint scented. It really gives my ass a fresh, minty feeling. I know this is funny, but this is the truth. It's the truth. It gives my butt a minty, fresh feeling, almost like when you eat a breath mint.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, dude. And I don't know if I want to switch. We've got, what's the other one we have that we haven't tested yet?
You've got some unscented Dude Wipes as well. So the difference is here in the mint ones, mint scented, it also has vitamin E oil, eucalyptus, and tea tree oils. Now, when you go with the unscented, you get all that. It just doesn't have the mint scent. So some of that tingling, fresh feeling you're getting.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's from the eucalyptus and the tea tree oil. So I think when you wipe with the unscented, you're still going to get that fresh feeling. You just may not have that nice minty scent.
Yep. I'm telling you, after I use the mint ones, I farted, smelled like a mint.
Well, that would be that'd be the reason to go with the mint versus the unscented, I suppose.
That's what I'm saying, dude. If you want to smell like mint, that's what you use.
There might be times when you don't want to smell like mint. I mean, if you're out hunting or something like that,
maybe
and you
might be too
unscented,
strong.
Might be a little too strong. Yeah,
we are testing these things, and
we'll give a review on the unscented here shortly.
Yep. If you're not using wet wipes, I'm telling you, I didn't use wet wipes until about 5 years ago.
Oh, I've been using them for years. They're great.
They are the bee's knees. If you're not using wet wipes.
I worked with a dude that used them years ago, and I'm like, are you serious? What do you need those for? Aren't those for babies?
You pansy.
He goes, dude, your butt has never been cleaner.
Yep.
Just trust me. And I tried it, and I remember the first time I used one, I'm like, okay, feels kind of silly. But after you get used to using the old wet wipe, it's the way to go.
It is, dude.
Your butt's fresh and clean.
Fresh and clean, smelling like a mint. Yeah. And sometimes, in the mid-afternoon, it's a sweaty, hot day.
Oh, swamp ass.
you got to clean the undercarriage a little
Maintenance wipe.
Maintenance wipe.
Yeah.
You just go in,
especially if you
do a maintenance wipe,
you rip one and you have a little bit of an accident.
just a little bit of a squirt, and just, dude, the wet wipes can take care of that little problem right there. All right, enough about it. But I know it's funny, guys, but they are not all equal, and we are not affiliated with the company. But I'm sold on them.
Yeah, usually companies approach us for sponsorships and stuff like that. This is not the case with this. Ryan just organically ordered these because he was running out of the Continentals. I'm guessing you just thought they sounded cool, dude. Why?
Yeah, right? They were cheap. They were a good price.
Yeah, Amazon. We've got a link through Amazon. They are really cheap. They're an Amazon product now.
What is the link?
It's /Fresh Butt.
Fresh
Butt. But all kidding aside, we both liked them so much. We're like, dude, we gotta get a link and let everybody know about these things.
Hell yeah! There you go. Have a fresh butt. Want to ride longer? Tired of a sore and achy ass? Speaking about butts, then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full lineup of butt buffer seat cushions. Ooh, a package received. Do you want to talk about this?
Absolutely. We got this from Jason Chapman, who's a top-tier patron, and he mailed us a sign that he wanted us to hang near the urinal. And here's what the sign reads. If you shake it more than twice, you're playing with it. So we got that above the urinal. Every once in a while, we do our best to not get the urinal in shots when we're filming, but it just depends. We got to get the right angle to get the right shot. And sometimes,
or we purposely get it, like when you
sometimes
filmed me peeing in it.
Yeah.
Right. It makes it look shop-like.
Yeah.
But we did hang that sign. Thank you, Jason Chapman. We really appreciate it. That's the kind of community we have. Oh, yeah. Shop, pay installments, integrated right into the law-abiding biker store. So here's the deal. You want to head out on a trip. You're low on coin. And you're like, I need that part, but I got to head out on a trip. I can't wait. We got you covered. That's right. You now have the option to buy the product right freaking now when you want it. I want it now. That's how America works. America. Knowing you can pay in 4 equal payments, interest-free. Again, that shop pay installments, it is in the Law Abiding Biker store, and so many of you are taking advantage of that option. Oh, yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Hey, Bikeaholics, 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
I like it. Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products. I'm all hyped up on caffeine. I had me and Lurch worked out of the coffee shop this morning, and for a couple hours getting some administrative stuff taken care of. I had a triple shot espresso, and now he just made me a cup of Keurig, and I'm not lying. I'm getting shaky over here, dude. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By listening to this very podcast, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
That's right. We have one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride. You know, I just realized that's probably not much of a question. It's more of a statement.
What's that?
When you say we got just one question for you.
It is a statement.
It's more of a statement, isn't it?
It is.
After all these years, I just realized we got a statement for you instead of we got a question.
Nobody were asking him, what are you waiting for?
Oh,
they could answer.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
It's a question and a statement.
You have no excuse to wait for anything. You just mount up when we're ready to go.
Okay. I reversed my thought.
Kick stands up.
I'm back in.
Kick stands up. All right. So this main topic today, guys, is my trip to Santa Barbara, California, and a review of the new 2022 Harley-Davidson Nightster. Yes, they're calling it just the Nightster, not Sportster Nightster, although it falls it's like in the category with Sportster S under Sport on their website. And it's going to be a very in-depth review on this podcast. And of course, I'm going to give you behind the scenes and talk about the actual trip and what it's like to get invited by Harley-Davidson, the mothership, on one of these trips, and kind of how they go and how we get the review videos, because there was 9 other YouTubers that went down there also that I met up with. And so a little bit behind the scenes. And so hopefully that'll be interesting to you. Even if you're not in the market for a Nightster, or a sport category, I really encourage you to listen to this podcast and learn about this bike, because there's more to it that I'm going to talk about than just the Nightster. You may never get it, but we do need to talk about the engine and performance and the future of Harley and some thoughts there. Where are we going? And with the Revolution Max. And I found out information down there directly from Harley representatives. We asked some tough questions, and you're going to get it right here on the Law Abiding Biker podcast. That's what we do for you. So I basically took a lot of notes while I was down there, and I'm going to report back to you and also tell you what I think of the Nightster. And it could be for a lot of you out there, but we'll get into that. Now, we love our sponsors up front. Absolutely. But these people are also direct sponsors for this episode, and they are some of our newest patron members. And we want to give a shout out to the following people.
David Harris of Chesapeake, Virginia. Jason Judy of Sunbury, Pennsylvania. He's top tier. And Dave Jennings of Banton, Glasgow, United Kingdom.
Ooh, yeah. Moving on with Eric Steiner of Sarver, Pennsylvania, top tier. And Paul Krampitz of Cromwell, Connecticut, top tier. And Nelson Williamson of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. There you go. Finish it off, Lurch.
We have Hank Terhaar of Hoevelaken, Netherlands. Kelly Thompson of Fairfield, Iowa. And Philip Malloy of Warren Lodge, Amthorpe, United Kingdom. He is top tier.
Shout out UK, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content, no risk to you, because you can put a monthly cap. That's right. There's benefits such as t-shirts and stickers, access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone and is nothing but bikers helping bikers in there. The best motorcycle forum on the interwebs. There you go. Access to live video broadcasts and chat podcasts early, premium videos up on request, and of course, access to those ride meetups and events. And of course, a lot of those ride meetup and events are not sanctioned. We joke about that. They're, we have our yearly one usually, but these ones are rides being developed right in the private Facebook group all around the U.S. right now. We hope it goes international soon and some international folks start getting patron rides put together. And just a reminder that I'm not sure exactly when this episode will come out. We'll probably push these ahead because they're kind of time sensitive.
Yes, boss, whenever you want them.
Roger that. We are not going to have, it's an announcement, we've made it before, but we're just reminding you that unfortunately, we are not having a patron sanctioned meetup this year. We are going on a long ride. My deepest and sincere apologies, our deepest sincere and apologies for that, guys. It's the first year we haven't had one. Reason being is, was having a few health issues earlier in the year. I am fine now. Things are great. God is good. But we were just, because of that, I just could not get it organized. So again, I know you all understand and are so forgiving. We'll pick it back up next year, but it unfortunately won't be having it this year. So get those unsanctioned one going, guys, and hook up in that private Facebook group and organize that kind of stuff. All right. So before we start and dive right in to this episode, new free video. Now, because we're talking about, this is the new free video, of course, I pumped it out. I worked really hard. When I got back from Santa Barbara, I had both videos. We were also down there. First day was to review the Nightster, and the second day was to review the new 2022 Lowrider ST. And both videos are out. And we're also going to do a podcast on the Lowrider ST, same kind of format where I'm going to tell you behind the scenes and a complete review. But this is about the Nightster. And I came home, and Lurch knows, I got home on a Friday afternoon, and I worked Friday late into the night, all day Saturday mostly, all day mostly Sunday, and Sunday into the night, into Monday and part of Tuesday to get the videos done. There's more than just getting the videos edited. Then we got to do articles with them. We got to do affiliate links. We got to do promotion. We got to promote via social media. It's so for about 5 days, my world was a whirlwind. And so, I mean, Lurch helped a lot, helping me with the articles and getting that. And so I'm glad they're both out. And so you can go over to the YouTube channel, and it's titled Harley-Davidson 2022 Nightster. Is this the beginning? ? Test ride and review! ! It's over at lawabidingbiker.com/2022-Nightster-review. You can go to the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is, or you can just search our website in the search box, Nightster, or the YouTube channel for Nightster, and you'll come up with it. But it's about a 32-minute video, and it is very thorough. Obviously, you're going to get it just as thorough and more in this podcast. But if you want to see it and see how that review was, I encourage you to get over there. And please do me a favor, guys. Subscribe while you're over there, and also share it. Please share the video everywhere you can on your social media channels. It really helps get views and bump us up in the rankings, so we can help more bikers around the world join this thing we call the biker revolution. All right. So, Lurch,
yes,
you
sir.
got anything?
I do not actually yet.
Gave me a chance to take a drink of coffee. Thank you. So we're going to go through. So basically the way this event worked is Harley flew me down, and I preface this in the video. It's a disclaimer. Harley flew me down to Santa Barbara, put me up in a hotel, and paid for my meals.
Well, then you've been bought. Right?
Oh,
You can't give
and paid.
You can't give an honest review. You've been
That's
bought,
right.
buddy. How
Now,
can I trust what you say?
You can't. Now, I'll tell you guys, just because they do that, I can tell you that you guys know me. Harley has never told me what I can and can't say about products, or I simply wouldn't go on the trips and I wouldn't do reviews. So as you've come to expect here on the podcast and the Law Abiding Biker YouTube channel, you'll get an honest review and opinion. Now, you'll know that because I will say I'm kind of one of the only guys that I think that will say, and I do in all of my videos. Now, if you watch the Pan America video, I give it praise where it deserves praise, and that's got over 100,000 views. And I also give cons on every bike because every bike has cons. You can get nitpicky. And so on each of these bikes, I also give cons. And that's how you know this channel and this podcast is honest. And that Harley has not told me what I can and can't say. And I am not afraid to say what I don't like about a bike along with what I do like about a bike. If you watch a lot of the reviews, you'll see that nothing, and I'm not saying maybe they aren't nitpicky like me, but I believe, to be honest, you got to get nitpicky with the bikes, and there's always something to find that's wrong with a bike. And I think so. Anyways,
and from getting to know some of these Harley reps, we've learned that they actually do appreciate that type of feedback.
Yep.
If you've got some, even if they're nitpicky, some things that you don't like about a bike and you share it with them, they're always looking for input from customers and riders so that they can make their bikes better. So, one, you're going to do it anyways, right? But two,
Yep.
I think they actually listen, and as it moves down the line, they'll use that information to make the bikes better.
Yep. Well said. Well said. So there you go, guys. That's the disclaimer. Like I say, never told what I can and can't say. So I give fair and honest reviews. So let's talk about the Nightster a little bit. Where can we start here? Let's just talk about some of the specs of it, guys. I first want to talk about the engine. Now this is coming with the Revolution Max 975T engine. Now this is the same Revolution Max that first came out in the Pan America, which is the 1200. Is it the 1250? Yeah.
I'll verify that, but I believe it's 1250.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
The Revolution Max, but you can verify it.
Okay.
But I'm almost 99% sure. 1250 Revolution Max motor. It's water cooled. Yep. V-twin. It is a 1250 Max. I got the thumbs up. I review all these bikes. I forget the motors. Water cooled, V-twin. Now, they made the Sportster S. Which one did it have?
I'm looking.
Yeah.
I think that might have been the 12.
It is the 1200,
It's a bigger
1250T.
1250T.
So they basically retuned on the Sportster S, guys. They retuned the motor that makes it more compatible with a smaller, lighter bike. And so they made it 12.
And the type of riding.
Yes, and the type of riding. 1250T version. Well, now in this bike, they put that same Revolution Max motor, but it's the displacement is 975T, and or I should say it's 59 cubic inches, 975T version. So a bit smaller motor, but obviously tuned out for this bike and the kind of riding you're going to do. This motor is awesome. Variable valve timing, 70 foot-pounds of torque We had better specs than that in the notes. We had better if you look at the notes at an RPM, and it was 7,500, I believe, for my memory. It's got 70 foot-pounds of torque at 7,500 RPM. Can you look at the notes? Because that didn't get copied over.
I'll take a look. Yeah, I copied them out of the notes, but maybe something didn't transfer right.
Yeah. And then I believe, well, we'll have to look where we get the 90 horsepower out, 90 horsepower. But it was in there because I said it in my video. Anyways, 52 miles per hour estimated city highway. I was definitely not getting 52 miles per gallon. That's under normal riding conditions. If you watch my video, I rode the heck out of this bike. Did you find anything?
No.
Well, it was in my notes because I said it.
Could have been. I don't see it.
It wasn't on the Lowrider ST? No, that wouldn't be right because it's yeah, I had it on my notes.
Yeah, it could have been some handwritten notes.
Yeah, it was because I got it off the board, and when they gave us our briefing in the morning, I do remember that it's 7,500. And I threw them away. That's okay. I do know. I forget where you get
a little behind the scenes production of the podcast here for everybody.
There you go. So 90 horsepower. I forget what RPM you get that at.
I think it was 7,500.
No, that's the torque.
Okay.
That was the torque. It was lower where you get the 90 horsepower, I believe. But anyways, don't quote me on those. Watch the video. I do say it in there, and that's information I got directly from Harley-Davidson reps in briefing. So that's kind of this. Let's see. Let's just talk about front wheel.
Before you move on,
Yep.
How did that motor feel? I mean, versus a V twin. You know, me in particular with my Road Glide, I'm used to the big air cooled V twin, a lot lower RPMs. You can really kind of chug it. I mean, what's the riding experience like going from one to another?
Yeah, good question. So here's the deal, guys. If you watch the video, please watch it because I do some good cornering and
dragging foot pegs.
Tore the crap out of. I mean, I rode. You guys know me. I don't just cruise. I ride these bikes. I want to know how they feel. And I didn't preface up front too that like in the video, I feel like I'm qualified to review these bikes as a full-time police motor officer and instructor. And obviously you guys know I ride a ton of miles off duty. I feel like I've got the background, and riding abilities, to really put these bikes, to the test, and really, really give them cornering capabilities and wobble. And cause I'm pushing them hard. So as to your question on how this motor feels, you got to understand something about the Revolution Max. If you've never felt a Revolution Max motor, even if you're not going to buy a bike with it, even if you don't like the looks of it, even if it's not your cup of tea, please, I encourage you to go down and test ride the Sportster S, the Pan America, or the Nightster, especially the Nightster because it's such a light little bike, coming in at 481 pounds, guys, with a 975T. So this motor, what you have to know about you're used to your regular big air-cooled V-twins, guys, and they're awesome cruising motors, and they are amazing. And
you're chugging along at 2,500 RPMs, maybe up to 3,000.
Yep. If you're cruising.
Yeah.
Now in town and stuff, I run. If you ride next to me, which Lurch does, you'll notice I'm always a gear lower than everybody.
Yeah.
And you use more gas, but I stay in the power band because it can get me out of trouble in the city. A lot of guys will run them down at 2,500. That's fine out on the freeway and stuff. That's just me. Because
you like to be up more like 3,000.
Well, your power band is going to be about 3,500.
Okay.
So you guys will feel that. Get your bike, shift down on your air-cooled V-twins to about 3,500. That's where you roll the throttle and you're going to get your torque and your power band and all that. Of course, when you're out on the freeway or cruising, 2,500, that's no big deal. But I try to stay in that power band because I can floor it and, if a car was pulling out.
You don't have to downshift. You can just twist the throttle
now.
And go.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's go time.
That's probably some of that police training too.
Yeah. Just stuff I've learned to get out of trouble.
For that oh shit moment.
Exactly. So we're used to that. So,
these motors, I assume, down at 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, that's pretty low for that.
You'll be lugging the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's something you want to get on one of these and ride it. It feels wrong in every way coming from a regular Harley. When I say by a regular Harley, an air-cooled V-twin, it feels wrong in every way. And even me, it took me a little bit to remember from riding the Pan America. It sounds wrong, the motor. You are revving these little Revolution Max motors out, man. They're little screamers of motors. And so your power band, your torque is up there. Again, I wish I would have kept my notes, but the video says it. 7,500, I believe, RPM. They redline at 9,500. And so literally, I was running these bikes at, 65, 7,500, 8,500 and keeping it in that power band. And you'll hear it on the videos. I'm going around the corners. If you want to hear what that motor sounds like, it's totally different than anything you can imagine on air-cooled V-twin.
Reminds me more of my earlier days when I rode sport bikes. It reminds me of that motor. It would just be so strange and foreign to me, being a V-twin rider for so many years now and jumping on one of these. I would have to remind myself to keep it up higher in the RPMs.
Yep. And I heard some, not being in the right gear.
Chugging.
In there, trying to ride
some
it.
valve train noise.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to, and it's not bad on this motor. That's what it's made for. And so once I remembered from the Pan America to keep it shifted down, and I just kept that thing just winded out, man. And so that's something, don't be afraid. I say that on my video. Do not be afraid to rev that motor out. That is what it's made for. And if you want the true experience and you want the fun begins in the high RPMs on that bike, the pleasure begins in the high RPMs.
How's the sound of this motor versus a V-twin?
It's windy.
It's not potato.
No.
I have not heard one with exhaust on it yet either. So,
with aftermarket exhaust.
Aftermarket. I'm kind of curious what they'll sound like.
Me too.
Opened up with some aftermarket exhaust.
Yeah, me too. But it's windy. It's windy, and it doesn't sound like a air-cooled Harley, guys. But please, I encourage you, don't dog it until you've tried it. It is fun. It may not be for you, but it'll give you an idea if you get to test ride. And at 481 pounds, you can absolutely throw that bike around underneath you. And it's 80 pounds lighter than current Sportsters of today, depending on which model. So they shaved a buttload of weight. The motor, like on the Pan America and the Sportster S, is a stressed member of the frame,
which probably adds to some of the weight savings.
Yep, and maneuverability. They actually built the motor around, or built the frame around the motor, guys, and so it's a stressed member of the frame, and that's what they're doing with that Revolution Max engine. Now, it's got a 3.1 gallon fuel tank, and they actually at 52 miles, a gallon. This is not a touring bike, and it wasn't meant to be. So don't compare it to that. It's got mid controls, obviously. And they took that 3.1 gallon tank and they moved it. The fuel tank where it is not the fuel tank where it normally is. That is now an air box, a high flow, inward and downward forced air basically into the air intake. And that's your air box and air cleaner. The fuel tank, they moved to underneath the seat. The seat pops really easy. It just turn it with a key. It actually is on hinges. It opens like a chest drawer, like a chest. And so it's on hinges, and the fuel cap's there. Now, the beautiful thing about putting the fuel tank under the seat is it lowers the center of gravity of this bike. I noticed it right away, making the bike more maneuverable, better in corners, feel lighter because it's got that lower center of gravity. It's unbelievable how you can throw that little bike, that 481 pounds around. You can just yank it from corner, and as soon as you're going into another opposite corner, you just yank it over, man, and it takes the input well. What a fun, I felt like I was riding a sports bike, guys. 32 degrees of lean angle, and even with that 32 degrees, one thing I will say about this Lurch is you're going to drag feet on this bike. That's the first thing you're going to drag. Now, I was dragging pegs hard, but I was pushing it hard. But the first thing I noticed, it's called the Nightster shoe, and the outside of your shoe up by your toes is going to get ground down. Even if you're not hitting pegs, you're not a really aggressive rider. just pulling out from intersections and leaning it hard, I noticed right away everybody was dragging feet. So you're going to drag your shoes a little bit if you don't have to, but if you're just riding like medium, you're gonna you're gonna be dragging your foot. So that's on some other Sportsters too. That's nothing new to the Revolution to the Nightster here.
No, even on my 06 Dyna, I would drag my heels of my boots going around corners.
Yeah, so that's nothing new. But it is the first corner we pulled out of. I drug my foot. Now, a little bit behind the scenes, the way it works is they flew me down to Santa Barbara. First day was travel day flight. I get there. Harley-Davidson has a room set up at the hotel. It was the Hilton Santa Barbara Beachfront conference room. Hilton Santa Barbara Beachfront Inn, I think is what it's called. And you'll see it in the video.
Your view looked horrible.
Oh, it was horrible. Drone shots are horrible. Yeah. Right on the ocean. And they have a conference room, and we went in, and they've got tables, catered dinner, and a lot of the other YouTubers were there. And of course, a ton of Harley reps. They had this room set up really cool. They had boards, and you'll see it in the video, of old Sportster models and really the rich history of Harley-Davidson and where they've come from. And that's what I want to say about Harley-Davidson and my video. You'll see it, is I don't just give a bike review. It's deeper to me than that. It's about the bike, the company, where they've come from, where they're going. I get kind of sentimental when it comes to that kind of stuff. I just think there's a bigger picture and bigger story than just a bike review. So I really incorporate that into this video. But they had this board, and as I walked around looking at it, it really that's when it came to me, where they've come from with Sportsters. Where are they going, and where are they somewhere in between that? Because you've still got some guys bitch, oh, the Nightster is not a Sportster, it's the Revolution Max, not air-cooled. There's still, what two bikes, get on Harley, what two Sportsters are there to choose from still that are air-cooled? The Iron, or there's two air-cooleds. I'm sorry, guys, I have so many bikes in my head.
We've been reviewing so many lately.
I can't remember this year.
Is there two? I thought there's just one. I thought it was just the Sportster S. Let me get there. Too many tabs open right now.
It's in the Cruiser. They're under the Cruiser.
They're just talking about Sportsters in particular.
Well, I am. But they moved those Sportsters to the Cruiser category.
Oh, yes, they did. So Iron 883 and the 48.
The 48. Mm-hmm. So you guys still don't, and as I see some guys complaining online, don't get worried. They've still got two air-cooled Sportster models to choose from under the Cruiser lineup. So just be aware of that. But
that makes sense to me. So yeah, they moved the categories around a little bit, and I'm still getting used to it. So the Sport is the Nightster and the Sportster S, which both have the Revolution Max motor. Yes. And then the more typical, if you will, the air-cooled V-twins got moved over into the Cruiser category, which are the Iron 883 and then the 48.
Yep. So if you still want the air-cooled V-twin, you've still got two great Sportster models. We're going to call them Sportster models or Cruiser. I got to get used to it.
It's hard.
Two new Cruiser models, formerly Sportsters, in that category. That's why we get so confused. They've changed everything around with their categories. But I started to really realize where they came from. Then they had a board with a lot of the custom builders that have taken the Sportster or the Nightster and customized it. And that's really kind of what this bike is set up for, is you can ride it like it is, but you can also, that's what the Sportster's always been about, is customization. And so Harley really wanted to bring to this Nightster that ability or that history, Lurch is what I'm saying, that history of modifying Sportsters and making them your own. You can do so much with them. There's so many parts out there, and they want that history to flow, to melt, to meld, to integrate.
You're like a thesaurus over there.
I am a thesaurus into the new Nightster. And they had a lot of pictures of the custom bikes in that room, Lurch. There's nothing better than seeing a bike indoors. A bike like in a conference room or in a bedroom or a living room, or
it's somewhere where it doesn't quite belong.
It's badass. I don't know what it is about it. So up front, they had a stage, and that's where they gave morning briefings. Every morning before we rode, we had a briefing. And right there was the new Nightster, the black one, or the black and gray. black and gray one. And then off to the sides of it were two of the custom built ones that from that video, their release video, they had two of those there. And I put them in my video. So make sure you watch the video, guys. Get a look at those bikes. They were badass, and it just looks so badass to have them in the room. But great meals, and they treat us very well. Harley-Davidson representatives and all that. Briefing every morning, and then we rode the Sportster, and then we would come back and we would get, of course, then they would take us to dinner. We would walk somewhere and go to a dinner. There's some cool place around Santa Barbara. I forget exactly where we went. I can't remember the name of it. But, and then it was back to sleep. And of course, Lurch, as you know, I didn't have Lurch on this trip with me. Yeah, exactly. Lurch didn't go. I would love to have him there because I love to have extra camera guy. By myself, it's a lot of work because of the way I do my videos. I am running and gunning. I think I get like 4 times the footage of everybody else that was down there. That's just me. That's my style.
You like to take a lot because you can always not use it, but if you don't have it, you don't have it, right?
Yep. And I get really in depth with things. And so back to the room, trying to clean film gear and offload stuff, back it up on hard drives, and then get some decent sleep because it's back up in the morning, the next morning briefing, and we were riding the Lowrider ST the next day, and then the same thing that night. So, but they treat us very well, but it is a lot of work, and it's fun, but because I'm reviewing a bike and I want to do such a good job, it can get, it's their long, busy days.
It's a lot of knowledge, and that's why a little bit earlier you mixed a couple of bikes up because you got so much of that data in your head right now.
Totally.
When you're out riding, you're rattling that stuff right off the top of your head because you've prepared. Yep. So there's a lot of time that you sit and review those and memorize it so that when you're riding, you can give that information and make the video informational and entertaining at the same time.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll talk. Yeah, we'll get into some more specs of the bike, and I'll kind of tell you behind the scenes of how the day went. I'll talk a little bit more about filming if you want to do this, Lurch.
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson, Honda, Goldwing motorcycles, and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team of over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Goldstrike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Gold Wings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
So the reason Lurch didn't go this time, now when we went down for the Pan America to Sturgis and reviewed that, Lurch went with me. If you watch that video, the way they had that set up is they just took us on a ride, and Lurch and I had the Pan America. I had it one day. I test rode it by myself, and then Lurch was given a touring bike. And having that extra camera guy was amazing. Having Lurch down there just, to do that and also bounce ideas off of. And the night before, we worked late, drinking a whiskey, trying to get our notes ready for the next day because we had the Pan America all day, trying to figure out what have we missed, what have we not done, what shots do we need, shot list, right?
Right. The video wouldn't have been as entertaining and informational if we would have only had that bike for the one day and it was just your GoPro and maybe the drone. We like to set up and do some talking head stuff and give you the information, but we also like to add in some fun stuff too. So, we took the bike through the car wash, the bikini car wash, that kind of stuff.
Rode 2 up on it.
Yeah, rode 2 up on it, laid it on its side to, see what
clearance.
Kind of clearance and crash protection. We were able to do so much more stuff than if you just would have been able to go on that 4-hour ride. So I think that, because of that and having it for that amount of time, it gives you a little bit more time to do a better review.
Yep. So this time they had it set up different, guys. And here's what they did. So we rode the bike. They took us on some cool rides, both bikes. They took us on some cool rides, and we got some twisties, and I got to motovlog about the bike and all that. Then we only had the bike one day, and each bike. And so what they did is they had their, I got a lot of my own footage on my own GoPros, and I did some of my own drone work.
And you packed a big boy camera and set it up. And
yep. I had the full camera down there.
You found time to do that good review. You just didn't have me to help you with it. So I imagine it was very tiring.
It was. And so the way Harley did it this time is after we got done riding the bike, a large part of the afternoon was spent waiting in lines and for the other YouTubers. And basically what they did is they set up with their own Harley-Davidson film team. They had their drones, they had their camera people, some amazing shots in the video. You'll see they did great work, but basically, we have to get in a line and wait, and we're on a section of road. They've got their film permits and everything. And then each rider rides it multiple times to get the drone shot. And then we go to a new location and we ride several times to get the moving tracking shots where they're following us or in front of us on another motorcycle. And then we've got to set up all the photographers, some amazing photos they got. I mean, they did amazing work. And then the next time is the static, where people are set up along corners with cameras, both photography and video. And then they give us access to all the assets. They gave me a link like a day after I got back, and they give each YouTuber a link to their to your assets. And so you can download all the video they got of you, all the drone, all the, and then you can use it in your production. So that's how it worked this time. So Lurch didn't go with me because they had their film team down there on this one, and I was able to use a lot of that footage in my production along with my own stuff. So that's a little bit behind the scenes on that. Oh, do you have any questions blaring there that you want to move into next on the Sportster or the Nightster here, Lurch?
I haven't had the opportunity to sit on one. I think I know what your answer is probably going to be, but I know that there was Matt Laylaw was on the trip there with you, and I
interviewed him on the video.
A little bit taller than me, even. What did he have to say as a tall rider about the bike?
If you want to see the full interview I did with him, it's a short interview, but it's in that video. He basically said the bike's not for him. It's not for tall guys. He understands the intended market that it's to. I'm 5'8", mid controls, and it's fine for a guy 5'8". Blockhead also, I talked to him about it on the video. He's 5'10". He said it's a little cramped, but your muscles would get used to it if you just rode that bike some. It wasn't like overly cramped for him. So, up to 5'10", I'd say. Anything over that, now you could put forward controls on it. Put some taller handlebars. There are guys that ride them.
Absolutely. You can make it.
You could make it, but you're going to have to not stock out of the box. Okay. You're going to have to put some bars on it. And the interesting thing on this bike, Lurch, was the rider triangle, which is that triangle where, the handlebars and then the triangle back to the rider. That's what Harley calls it, the rider triangle. They do a lot of R&D to make sure how the rider triangle feels. They took great effort in making sure that this bike felt, if you were blindfolded and you got on it, it would feel like Sportster of old. How they set up the bars, the mid controls, they wanted it to feel like a traditional. Yes,
similar.
They wanted it to feel like a traditional Sportster. So it's interesting when they briefed us, and it's fun to learn all this information.
Absolutely.
And so that it's going to feel very familiar Sportster, other than the ripping engine it has in it and all that kind of stuff. I will tell you, interestingly enough, I had to choke up at 5'8" on this bike a little bit. I couldn't sit all the way back in the saddle because my arms would be too straight out and not have a little bend in them. So I actually scooted forward at 5'8" on the seat a little bit. I sat flat-footed on it, no problem there. Even there was
so a little bit of reach for you to the handlebars, which could be adjusted pretty easily too. Some risers or different bars, which actually I think didn't they make that easy to swap out the bars? I thought there was something.
They did, so you could customize it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Do you think if you put some bars on it that came back just a little bit farther, that puts you a little back in the seat better?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, definitely. So I choked up on a little bit. Just interesting because it's such a small bike. The fact that a 5'8" guy had to choke up on a little bit, just interesting.
You got T-Rex arms. So.
I do have T-Rex arms. Also, some other shorter YouTubers down there, 5'3.75", I think is what she said. Doodle on a motorcycle.
Yes, the 0.75 was very important.
Yes, she could sit flat-footed on it.
Yeah.
So it's made for great beginner or intermediate bike, or you could even ride it as a more expert rider. Really made for a larger demographic. But you could get on this thing. Here's what I'll say: if you're a brand new rider and you want to get into this bike, it's a great bike to learn on. Now, I know I talk about how revvy it is and it's powerful and it's got a lot of torque. Don't be concerned by the 90 horsepower. The reason I say that is this bike comes with 3 ride modes. It comes with road, rain, and sport. So if you're a brand new rider and you're intimidated by some of the power, it's awesome because you can simply flip it into rain mode. And it's going to completely tame that motor and the torque and everything down. It's really going to humble that motor. And it's going to feel not aggressive. It's going to feel forgiving when you roll on the throttle. It's going to be easy on you. And then you can move up to road, which is more of a cruiser. That's the next level. It's still going to have not as peppy, not as much torque on road. It's more for just cruising and relaxing. And then if you want full power, you move up to that sport mode and then you get the full rippy motor. So it's kind of cool if as a beginner with the modes, you think, I can only use rain mode and road or rain. No, turn rain mode on a dry road. It's still going to give you the same benefit. All it's doing is delaying
less slip
traction control. Yep, it's not going to be
dumbing the power down a little bit.
Yep. Dumb down the power.
Did they talk about this, the ride modes? Because the V twins, the newer V twins, if you get what they used to call the RDRS, there is some of that traction stuff on those
rider
bikes.
Safety enhancements.
Yeah, that's what they're calling them now, right?
I think so.
The Street Glide ST that we got in the shop right now has traction control, but it doesn't have the ride modes. It seems like the ride modes are just on the Revolution Max motors, which I believe because it's got the variable valve timing and all that, they can do more than just have traction control. They can actually change the tune, the way the motor responds. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if they talked about that at all.
They didn't, but I think your summary.
You don't see the ride modes on the other bikes. You just see the ride modes on the Revolution Max motors.
It's true, which a lot of people are disappointed about, not coming on the touring.
I don't know if it's possible from a technical standpoint on those other motors.
I think you can.
Maybe.
I think you can because you're just dumbing down. It's just computer. You're just dumbing down throttle response and stuff like that. Ride modes came on the Indian Challenger that I test rode and reviewed, right? And it's water cooled, but it's a V twin. So I think you can.
Okay.
Put ride modes on it. I think they will in the future. I really do. I don't have any inside information on that, but I think they're going to put ride modes on touring models too.
Good.
I just don't think they're doing it yet.
Glad to hear it.
Cost. But we do have a lowrider or a Street Glide ST. And if you're following us, make sure you follow us, guys, everywhere. We have it for 30 days. And because I have it for 30 days, you don't understand the amount of reviewing and riding.
We've been riding the piss out of that thing.
Follow us on Instagram at Scrappy, SCRAPPY 587. Or you can just go over to Instagram and search Ryan Urlacher or Law Abiding Biker. You'll find it. We are doing a ton of behind the scenes stuff over there. We're really trying to bump up. Make sure you follow us on Instagram because we're doing some stuff over there that we're not doing anywhere else. You won't see it. You guys in the private Facebook group, of course, we're posting it in there. Twitter at Law Abiding Biker. If that's your game, Twitter at Law Abiding Biker. And then, of course, we have our public Facebook page, which is just Law Abiding Biker. And then, of course, we're posting on YouTube too. We're doing a lot of YouTube shorts. And there's actually, if you don't know, guys, on YouTube, there's actually posts there where we're not necessarily just posting videos. We're posting pictures and updates. But we really, if you want to have fun, get over on Instagram at Scrappy587 because we are doing a ton of behind the scenes. Actually, yesterday we did a reel of me I was actually taking the Street Glide ST through the motors course, through some cone patterns, and doing some cool stuff there. So anyways, I don't want to get too off track, but review.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Full review on the Street Glide ST coming out. I'm having a blast. We are having a blast, and Lurch will be talking about that one because he's test riding it too as a tall rider. And so you'll get a view from me, a short rider, and a tall rider on that video. So let's go through some of the dimensions. Front wheel, 19-inch width, 100 millimeters wide. Rear wheel, 16-inch width, 150 wide. 6-speed transmission. The suspension felt adequate for a stock bike, coming with front forks, 41 millimeter Showa dual bending valve conventional forks, exposed rear shocks, modeled after previous Sportster chassis, wheels, aluminum cast, satin black, brakes, single rotor, front and rear. I don't know what that is. LED headlight, tail light, and turn signals, which is really cool because our Street Glide ST here is coming with LED headlight and brake
Old
light,
school
but halogen turn signals.
Jeez.
So
come on, Harley.
yeah, so it's all right because
Sarah appreciates it.
We appreciate you buying Fang LED signal light inserts right from the Law Abiding Biker store. We really appreciate that. So it's got a 4-inch analog speedometer and segmented LCD indicators. So I do like it. The speedometer is cool. It's an analog, it's a round gauge, and then all your other information to include your ride modes. Of course, you've got a tach in there, a trip odometer, and all that kind of stuff as you flip through, and your ride modes. And the beautiful part is that's where you can see your RPMs. You can set and see, because I liked on that bike, especially getting used to the Revolution Max, because I'm so used to the sound of Harleys, I can close my eyes and ride it and tell you what RPM I'm at. Mm-hmm. Big air-cooled V-twin. Right. This one, I had to keep peering down because it's like, it feels wrong. I mean, it's rapping, dude. And you're like, oh, I'm at redline. You look down, you're like at 6,500.
3 more to go.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. Yeah. So with that said, let's do this. And then I'm going to get into the clutch and talk about the clutch on this thing a little bit, guys.
Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems.
Rick Rack.
lawabidingbiker.com/store.
There you go. So clutch, guys, this coming with a cable clutch, and I'm going to go on just a little bit here. This is one of my cons. Now, I think it was 20 or 21. It doesn't matter.
Right in there somewhere.
Harley, on their touring models, went back to cable clutches. And I feel like they had the hydraulic clutch nailed down on the bikes.
Works great.
They had troubles in 14 when I first got my bike. And then it seems like that all went away and they fixed that system. A lot of other bike manufacturers are doing hydraulic clutches. Now, you can argue, and that's great. This is my opinion. And this is not just on the Nightster. This is across the board. I come at you as a motorcycle instructor, full-time police motorcycle officer, and ride both street and adventure. Off duty. I have ridden a ton of coursework on cable. I have ridden a ton of miles with cable, and the same goes for hydraulic. I can ride our motors courses, as Lurch saw yesterday doing cone drills on the Street Glide ST with a cable clutch, as good as I can ride with my hydraulic clutch.
Absolutely. But
so it has nothing to do. But so don't make that you can ride better one than the other. Bull crap. If you are well trained and you practice, it doesn't matter which one you have. Here's my argument for hydraulic. The deal is cable has more hand fatigue. They are by nature harder to pull in and out. And so if you're doing a lot of clutching, you can get hand fatigue. If you're doing coursework, it's unfortunate. Cable clutches change. They're ever changing as the clutch plates wear. So for a while, your clutch might feel really good where it gets into the friction zone of the gray area when you let it out. And after a while, it doesn't feel so great.
That spot starts moving.
And so, especially police motorcycles or anybody who's riding, or doing training or just street, you're constantly have to get in the primary and adjust the clutch on cable. Whereas hydraulic have an easier pull. It's consistent. I can jump on any Harley hydraulic clutch and it's going to feel the same. It never changes. It is very consistent and it never needs to be adjusted. Now, the other thing is on a cable, you're just stuck with a cable. On a hydraulic clutch, if you want an easier pull, you can make it easier with an AIM light force clutch slave cylinder, which we are selling the hell out of in the law-abiding biker store, Lurch, because you edit this. We will put a link in the show notes for you guys directly to, or go to the law-abiding biker store and search for AIM, A-I-M, slave cylinder. And we have a complete install on the store listing for you or on YouTube on how to install it. It's super easy. We'll teach you how to install it. That thing is amazing. I'm talking like it is amazing.
They say 40% reduction. It's at least that, if not more.
If not more.
It to the point where when we put it, I'm going back to our first experience with AIM. We put it in Squid's bike and we pulled the lever and I thought, I don't know if we installed this right. This is
before we got the bike on the road.
This is way too light. But it works outstanding. Outstanding.
If you want like the softest clutch pull, you could do it with your pinky. It is unbelievable. And it also widens the gray area, the friction zone in between letting the clutch out and not having it all the way engaged. And so that's the beautiful part. So you can argue all day. If you say it to me, well, I like clutch better, that's great.
If you like cable.
Yeah. If you like, cable better.
We all like clutch,
but I don't like the argument that you can ride better with a clutch, or a cable. You can ride faster with a cable. You can do coursework better with a cable. I call bull crap on that. That's not the argument. If you just tell me you just like cable better, I'm curious what the reason is when it has more hand fatigue and it needs to be adjusted all the time. I haven't heard a good argument yet, but if you have a reason, please put it, comment on the show notes. You can lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode this number, or leave us a voicemail. I'm open. And if you just simply like cable better, that's fine too. But if you have a good argument for it, I would like to hear it. We'd love to hear it and play it on the show here. And there you go. So there's my little rant on, I've done that before. So I just wish Harley would go to hydraulic all the way across, but it is what it is, and it's certainly not going to keep me from buying Harley-Davidson motorcycles. So with that said, we talked about wheels. What do we got for electrical?
I was moving it back.
Yeah, I know.
So that's the reason you went, what is that? It's because the tabs were kind of, the bolts are out of whack, so I fixed that.
And it says electrical.
Oh, well, what is electrical? It's
electrical. That's why I was like, what the hell is electrical?
I'm surprised that the spell check didn't catch that.
Changing it as I'm doing it. All right. So this bike coming with ABS. Now, I will say, although it comes with ride modes, road, rain, and sport, this bike not coming with any other rider safety enhancements. So it doesn't have cornering enhanced, braking at cornering enhanced ABS or anything like that. Like some of the full touring models are coming with, like the Street Glide ST that we have is coming with cornering enhanced ABS, linked braking systems, hill assist, rider hill assist, and traction control. Mm-hmm. But this one is coming with the traction control in the form of road, rain, and sport. But you don't have just traction control button.
Right.
You just got to be basically putting it in rain is going to give you traction control. Putting it in road is going to give you traction control. It does have, interestingly enough, drag, torque, slip control. If you guys don't know what that is,
that's probably good on a light bike with a high revving motor.
Totally.
In case you drop a gear a little farther than you should. And
Yep.
keeps that back tire from spinning on you.
Interestingly enough, so if you don't know what drag torque control system is, like what Lurch said there, if you're riding aggressive and you're downshifting before a corner, you'll lock the rear tire up, the compression. Well, it keeps it from doing that. Interesting thing, Lurch, is the Lowrider ST, which I did a video on and we're going to do a podcast on. It does not have it. And I was riding that bike aggressively and I locked the tire. I'm used to it because my police bike doesn't have it. When I'm aggressively shifting down, sometimes you'll get the little slipping. I know kind of where to be in my RPMs and speed, but I did. It does not have it. So that's this one is coming with drag, slip, torque control.
And again, I wonder, and I'm going to do some research before this podcast is over. I wonder if that's coming on the Revolution Max motors, bikes with Revolution Max motors.
No, because the full touring has it.
Does it? Okay.
I think the
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think because I know the Pan America has it. The Sports Dress has it, and this one has it. I'm going to look.
Yep, that's good. I will. I'm not sure actually. I don't think it does because I think I shifted the ST down and it skidded.
I thought I heard it more than once.
When I was doing some aggressive cornering. Lurch will do some research on that. I'll talk about the brakes, single disc front and rear. That's absolutely sufficient. I believe they're Brembo. Absolutely sufficient for a 481-pound bike. It has tons of stopping power, and of course, with that assistance of ABS, which is just amazing to have on motorcycles these days. I rode so many miles without ABS. It's just so nice to have. Of course,
I was wrong.
It does have drag tricks.
Yep.
Okay, so
it's available.
The Street Glide ST, it comes in the RDRS package. The Rider Safety Enhancement package it comes in. It's part of it.
Just clear it up and tell you what's all in that enhancement package. You got cornering electronic linked brakes.
Now, before you say all this does not come with the Nightster. The only thing that comes with the Nightster is the modes and drag torque slip control.
Correct.
Now, the Street Glide ST, which he's talking about, does come with it. So go ahead. I just want to make sure people.
Perfect. We talked about it a little bit earlier and didn't necessarily hit them all, so I wanted to. So if you do get that package on a bike that has it, you're going to get the cornering electronic linked brakes, cornering ABS, cornering traction control with modes, drag torque slip control, vehicle hold control, and then they throw TPMS in their tire pressure monitoring system.
Yep. There you go. So if you get that package on the bigger touring bikes, it's awesome. And again, you're probably right because of the Revolution Max engine. And you're revving it up so high, RPM shift down. They wanted to put drag torque slip control system on there. Oh God, it is that's what she said. All right, but we need one. All right, so we've got a few more things to talk. Yeah, actually, we've got some more things to talk about. So hang in there, and then I'm going to give some of my opinions and kind of where Harley's going, and some of the one of the big questions that you guys probably have is, are they going away from the air-cooled V-twins? Are they moving towards all Revolution Max motors? We asked that tough question in briefing, and I'm going to come back with an answer for you guys towards the end of this episode. There you go.
Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already. Get hooked up with the premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And unlike gel pads, it won't leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps dampen vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head on over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions.
Yeah. Comfortable ass.
A lot of butt talk in this episode.
Ass, there is. Not only can you have a nice, comfy ass, you can have a minty, fresh ass. If I didn't mention, patron members, they get podcasts early. This episode, going in the back end of your patron accounts long before everybody else gets it. The regular podcast format, you're going to get it soon, long before everybody else. Just another reason to get hooked up as a patron member. So let's talk about the seat. Coming with a solo seat. Roll through those notes, Lurch, and make sure I didn't miss anything above this that I need to go back on. So 4-inch, we talked about that round seat. It is a solo seat. It's not set up for a passenger, this bike. So pricing, $13,500. I know that shocks a little bit. I know some people think it should have came, I think so too, in around the 12.5 to make it more competitive, but it is what it is, 13.5. Coming in vivid black, gunship gray, or redline red. So my overall thoughts, they've obviously designed this bike with customization in mind. It allows riders and builders to make this bike their own. They have used separate risers to allow, one example for custom handlebars, which we talked about. I think Harley did a really good job building and designing this bike. It's got a lot of pros. Let's talk about some of the cons, as you'll get an honest review right here on this channel. I already talked about, I wish it had hydraulic clutch. One thing with the Revolution Max, it doesn't look like a traditional Harley because you've got that big, like a lot of other bike manufacturers are doing. When you go water cooled, you've got a big radiator up front. Now, with a motor like the 975T or the 1250s on the Pan and the Sportster S with high performance engine, it's likely, with the high performance engine, you have to water cool them to get that sort of horsepower and torque out of them. It is just what it is. And it's something, if you're going to get a bike like this, it doesn't look like the traditional Harley. It is just what it is. Now, the interesting thing about the Revolution Max, one side of the bike looks pretty cool. I don't know if you're visualizing.
Well, I've got the 360 picture right here.
There you go. So one side looks really cool with the heads and the cylinders, right? When you turn the bike around on the Revolution Max, they're just kind of ugly. It's just a lot of stuff. So when you look at it from one side, it looks really...
If you look at from the side with the exhaust and the air cleaner,
which is the right side,
the right side, it looks a little more traditional. Then you spin it around and there's all kinds of stuff going on the other side. Yeah.
And it's not real coordinated. That's just one of my... Again, this is a con to me.
Sure.
It's a personal preference.
Yeah.
You may like all that a lot. No, not going on there. That's my opinion. You guys take a look at it for yourself. I'm being nitpicky here because that's what I do. That's what we do here on this channel. And some other YouTubers down there said the same thing.
It'd be nice if they carried the look from the right side over to the left.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my point.
I think it'd be and I'm sure there was a reason they didn't, but it would be a little more aesthetically pleasing. It does look a little more mechanical, not quite as put together and finished.
Yep. So take a look at it, guys. That's something you'd have to get used to. Is it going to keep me from buying it? I'm not going to buy it because I don't have the money right now, or it's not, I guess, in my wheelhouse to do that, to buy it. I would love to have one. It's fun. But we got other projects we got to do here at the Law Abiding Biker Studio. We got other bikes to work on right now. But that would be, I didn't even say that in my video. So that's just something that's on all the Rev Max bikes. It's just something you're going to have to get used to. And that big radiator, additionally, it's got a lot going up front because they've moved the battery, because the fuel tank is under the seat and the air box is where the gas tank goes. At the very bottom below the radiator is the battery box.
I see it.
And so it's a lot to take in up front if you're a traditional V-twin air-cooled guy. And I get it. You don't have to like it. But the kind of power you get out of it and the fun I had on that bike, to me, makes it worth that. I still am a traditional air-cooled V-twin. It's my cup of tea. But if I could own one of these just for fun and ripping canyons on it, it would be cool. And to dress it up a little bit, put some bars on it, and intake pipes, we could have some fun with that bike. Lurch, you got something?
No, as I'm looking at them, sitting there on the Harley's website and on their little 360 tool, just spinning around and looking at it, I appreciate it for what it is. I understand that not every bike Harley makes is made for me and that I'm going to like them. Obviously you gravitate towards what you like. I like the touring bikes. So I appreciate it for what it is. I'm too big to ride one of these, but I think it's going to be pretty popular. Yep. Especially with a younger crowd. And
totally. Maybe, I think it's going after a demographic.
Yeah. And it's smart. Sometimes we get comments occasionally on, our posts like, that's not a Harley. Harley is a brand and they need to appeal to a wide variety of people to be successful.
They need to evolve.
Yeah, they need to evolve. And not every bike's going to be for you. And that's okay if it's not, because it's being made for somebody else.
Exactly. It is a Harley-Davidson, and it is, somewhat the future. I'll get into that a little deeper here on that question that we asked. But just understand, some guys get really pissed off in comments on YouTube, and that's fine. But, there are still, the majority of their lineup is still air-cooled V-twin, guys. Mm-hmm. This is just a different segment, and it is really appealing, I will tell you that, to a younger demographic for sure, and I think even an older demographic. Because like I said, you can't appreciate this bike until you get on it. Until you get on the Revolution Max, you can't really appreciate it. So with that said, Lurch, I always like to have something else on the market to compare it to.
Yes, sir.
Because I think that's fair. We support all motorcycles here on this channel. I don't care if it's a Grom. I don't care if it's a scooter, whatever, I tease. But we got Honda Goldwing listeners. We got BMW listeners. We support all motorcycles here as long as your knees are in the breeze. We ride with people with Indians. I've ridden Indians. I would like to have an Indian. Again, I just can't afford to have every bike. I love Indians. So this isn't a put down at all. This is a head-to-head review. And so the bike I picked out that is probably one of the closest competitors is the Scout Bobber. I think the Scout Bobber is a great looking bike. I think it would be a fun bike to ride. It's coming in at $11,500. The Harley Nightster coming in at $13,500 for a $2,000 difference, $2,000 cheaper for the Scout Bobber. Now, to make the Scout Bobber relatively close to matching the Nightster, we have to do some things. So we've got to add, and the Indian's really good at this. Now, Harley does some of it too, but that's one thing I did notice about Indian is they're really good at the add-ons. Harley does it too, like with the RDRS package. So I'm not dogging Indian for this. But if you don't look close on Indian.
Yeah, one of the things is that price at $11,500 is non-ABS. As soon as you go up to ABS, you're at $12,400.
Oh, see, I didn't say that in my video.
I just caught it. Yeah.
So here's and we'll do that at the end. We'll add ABS. So get your calculator ready.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't even do that in my video. I was actually nice in my video. I forgot it doesn't even have ABS.
I was looking at the colors you could choose and they've got, typical of listings. They'll have little blocks of the sample of the color, and they show one that says non-ABS and it's black.
There you go.
And so you can only get the non-ABS in black apparently.
Yep. But so there you go. So if you want so you're going to have to add a quarter fairing. That's another $530. I've got the math on this. You're just all to give you the figure at the end. So if you want the quarter fairing, that's another $530. Plus, you'll then need to add a headlight relocation kit for $1,000. Is it $1,000 or $100?
That would be $1,000.
Yeah, it's $1,000. Now you're up at $1,170 in parts, pricing the Scout Bobber at $12,670. Now that's $830 less than the Nightster, but no ride modes. And as we just learned on the fly here, we've got to add ABS. So to that $12,670, add your ABS price of what?
I'm in the middle of doing the math here.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's 11,500 minus 11,499. So it's a $900 upgrade for the ABS. We need to add $900 to your total up there.
So add $900 to $12,670.
12,670.
He's doing this in his head, by the way, folks.
13,570.
So now it's $70 more expensive than the Nightster. And the Nightster comes stock with all that stuff. Darn, I wish I didn't even say that in my video because I still said I forgot about the ABS. That's all right. That's all right.
It's still,
see, that's for research, man. Yeah. We failed on that.
Dang. Sorry, audience. We let you down.
On the video, I didn't mention that you'd have to add ABS, actually making the bike more expensive. But there you go. You never know what you're going to get on the podcast here. You get more information sometimes. Now, the Scout Bobber coming with a liquid-cooled 69 cubic inch V-twin. The Harley has a 59 cubic inch. The Indian has 72 foot-pounds of torque. Harley has 70 foot-pounds, 100 horsepower on the Indian Scout Bobber, 90 horsepower on the Nightster. But remember, guys, the Nightster is 72 pounds lighter. So that's give or take, guys. You've got a little bit less torque, a little bit less horsepower, but a much lighter bike. 72 pounds is significant when you're talking motorcycle weight. The Nightster coming in at the Scout Bobber, 553 pounds. The Nightster only 481 pounds. So there you go. There's that 72 pounds lighter. No ride modes that I could find on the Scout Bobber. I have not test ridden the Scout Bobber, but nowhere on their site could I find anything that has ride modes. If I'm wrong, please leave us a voicemail and or a comment on this episode and let us know that I am wrong and tell us what ride modes it has and what year your bike is that has it. Indian should, I think it's interesting. Indian, where Harley is inviting me down. Harley's in the game, in the YouTube game. Indian, we have a lot of our audience that are Indian riders, and I love Indian bikes. I don't know why Indian has not contacted us yet to test ride and review their bikes. It's a little bit interesting with the audience that we reach, and we've done maintenance Indian videos on this channel and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why they haven't, but hopefully that will be coming in the future, because I would love to test ride and review some Indians for you guys, because I love them. And I know a lot of you out there listening ride them. And so Indian, if you're listening, you're missing out on a large audience of people that we would love to test ride some Indians and put it in front of our audience and do some comparisons for you. So there you go. Got to get in the game. Get us over there like Harley is doing. I know the Indian is inviting some YouTubers, but they have not touched this audience. They're neglecting this audience at this point. So hopefully we can get hooked up there, guys, in the future. In closing, I will answer the question, is Harley-Davidson going to move all their touring models are they going that way to move all of them to the Revolution Max versions of that motor?
I wondered. I did.
That very question was asked in briefing, and I can tell you that Harley adamantly said that is not the case. They are very aware of their demographic and their need and demand for V-twin, air-cooled. They understand how much that bike is still sought after by a large amount of their customer base. They have no intention at this point of moving to the Rev Max motor. They are sticking. You're going to have plenty to choose from in years to come with the air-cooled V-twin motors that we've all come to know and love. This new Revolution Max motor is simply a different bike, an evolution of bikes for a growing, what they're trying to do is grow a demographic and tap in to people that want these bikes and Revolution Max. But don't cry. Don't get pissed. You've still got your air-cooled V-twins. You've still got two cruiser/Sportster models to choose from. So people get fired up. Don't get fired up, guys. Harley is not going anywhere. You heard it right here on the Law Abiding Biker podcast. Heard it from Harley reps directly. You're going to have those to choose from for years to come. The only thing that could change in the future is, and they didn't say this, I'm just saying this, is federal regulations.
EPA.
Force them into it. But Harley, as a company, has no intention of doing that. They understand how sought after the air-cooled V-twin motorcycles are wanted by so many customers out there. Whew. What do you think we take it out with that? You got anything?
No, I think that's the bombshell information to take it out on.
There you go, guys. I loved riding it. I'm actually pro on the bike. I am glad they're making the Revolution Max motors. I'm glad they're giving different options to customers out there. I love seeing them on the road. You got to be willing to change a little bit, guys. Harley has to as a company, or they'll go bankrupt. There are a lot of young riders that are loving the Nightster. In fact,
met a few of them, huh?
Yeah, met a few. There's just, it's going to appeal to a lot of people. You're going to be surprised. We love our patron members up front. We want to get to know you better. We want to get you involved in the private Facebook group. We want to give you benefits. I mean, what the heck? But hey, for whatever reason, if the only way you want to support us is through a flat donation, we never balk. At a flat donation, and Lurch wants to thank the following people.
Steven Stratton, he's also known as Lurch. Met that dude down in California last year. He's a top-tier patron member, but he also gave us a donation. Thank you so much, Steve. Hector Velez of Fulton, Maryland with a substantial donation. And Jason Despain of Crestview, Florida, also a top-tier patron. He threw in a little message. He says, here's a little fuel for the law-abiding biker gas tank. These videos help save me lots of money by doing things myself, including a stage 1. Shiny side up, rubber side down, hands on the bars, wind all around.
That is our patron community. Unbelievable. They're not only pledging a certain amount per piece of content, they're leaving flat donations. Humbles me, guys. Absolutely humbles me. Another new thing I want to talk about, we got to put this, Lurch, as a regular item. I'll talk about it. This is brand new on YouTube. Do you remember what it was called? Where they can leave?
It was called, not Super Chat is the other one. Super something. Super Thanks.
Super Thanks. So it's a new thing on YouTube, guys. Every video that I upload, you now have the option to leave a Super Thanks on an uploaded video. And all that is you can basically leave a donation. So if you appreciate it, a video that we upload onto YouTube and it helps you out, you can leave a donation right there. And it's just another way to get, to keep the lights on here and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank.
And keep this bitch running on down the road.
There you go, guys. Super thanks. Add that, Lurch, in the down way. You're getting behind the scenes here. Lurch will add it down here. Well, we'll do it after the episode. How about that?
Yeah, maybe we won't do it live.
I thought I was going to find it, but thanks, guys, for tuning in. I hope you're all well out there. I definitely hope that you are getting some riding in, Bikeaholics. We love you guys so much. You're the reason we are still here after 8.5 years. Don't forget, another podcast episode coming at you with the Slowrider ST and also the Street Glide ST. You guys are going to love those videos. As you know me, I don't just get on a flat, straight road and ride these bikes. I test these bikes. We test these bikes. Push them hard. Peace. We're out. Dude Wipes, lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butts.